So when Dragon Ball Super was announced, I figured that we would not be getting any more new Dragon Ball movies because it seemed like Super was going to be the main avenue from where we would be delivering on the main content of the franchise, and also because Super has a very bad production cycle. Or rather, it used to have a really bad one, but in recent years it has steadily improved. In fact, the Universe Survival Arc is a really big example of how the series has improved. It has been able to deliver episode after episode after episode of fight scenes that are fairly well animated. There is a dud in the animation department every so often, but that's kind of expected for a long-running series like this that doesn't take seasonal breaks the same way a lot of other new shows are. The series production has improved steadily, but I still never expected that we would get more movies, especially ones that would be critical to the main storyline. But with the recent announcement that we would be getting the 20th overall Dragon Ball film, not counting the Bardock and Trunks TV specials, which are not movies, it's gonna be a pretty crazy time when December 2018 comes along. And what's kind of important about this thing, and that makes it seem important to whatever Toriyama is doing with the new Dragon Ball material, pertains to the fact that he will be scripting the film once again. He's also apparently doing a lot of the design work. On the animation side, on the staff, like who's gonna be storyboarding the movie, who's gonna be directing the movie, doing key animation, I expect that a lot of people from the mainstay Super staff are gonna be transferred over to the film, which is kind of what a lot of these things do. It's what One Piece does. It's what a lot of other anime do when they have a TV show and a movie release. So Yuya Takahashi, I'm pretty sure he's going to be on there. Tadayoshi Yamamura has been the main guy for Dragon Ball, for better or for worse, for decades now, and he's definitely going to be majorly involved in the project. I expect Shimanuki's going to be there. I expect Ken Otsuka. All of the mainstays from the Super staff are pretty much guaranteed, more or less, that they're going to show up in the film in some capacity. I don't expect Kitano to show up, and I think that possibly even some of the people from Toei Philippines might get excluded, but I'm not a super big expert on this stuff. Anime AJ is way more involved and way smarter about this kind of stuff than I am, so I'm just kind of spitballing here, mirroring in a really shitty way his much better informed opinions. But overall, I think on the animation side, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing pulls through. There's definitely going to be a hit on the Super TV side of things, because a lot of the people, like I said, who are involved with the TV show are going to be doing the movie. I expect that Toei, if they're smart, they're probably going to have the Universe Survival arc end, and then when that ends, we're going to have a long stretch of time when we're just going to have smaller episodes where we're not going to have fight scenes, where a lot of animation isn't going to be necessary. And I expect that there will be a long, protracted period of time where we're going to just get these really easy to do, quick episodes where we don't need much animation, where the staff can focus on animating the movie and making sure the movie looks good without, ruining the animation quality of the Super TV show. For example, after the Black arc ended, we had about 10 weeks of stories where we did have some fight scenes, to be sure, but overall these were episodes that were much more relaxing in the way they were done. They were very clearly done to give buffer time so that the new, series directors and the steady animation regulars could get to work on the Universe Survival arc to make sure it worked. And considering the fact that the results of the Survival arc have been fairly impressive with regards to how they've consistently been able to do lots of decent to actually pretty damn good work on a big arc that's just nothing but fight scene after fight scene after fight scene, after Super provably showed that it could not sustain a burst of consistent fight scenes over a stretch of episodes, I expect that a similar situation is going to be done for the 2018 Dragon Ball movie. So I think the animation is going to look good, especially if they hire guys like Yuya Takahashi back. I think that thing's going to look pretty decent. Yamamura has actually gotten better at storyboarding stuff, and he's also gotten better at doing corrections for other people's work. So I think we're definitely going to get a movie that's going to definitely look better than Resurrection F. I know F is kind of considered a gold standard for how Dragon Ball fight scenes should be done, but it's really not that great, even in the context of Dragon Ball. It's not very well directed. It has good bits of animation here and there, and I'd be lying if I said some of the fight scenes, particularly Goku versus Frieza in base form anyway, looks still pretty damn good today. But overall, I think that we're going to get a movie that's going to look better than F at the very least. But then we get to the thing that's probably going to make this the biggest piece of shit imaginable, and that's the script. Toriyama is doing the script, and I am not a fan of most of his output. And what really kind of cements the fact that this has a pretty damn good chance of being awful is the fact that he's doing kind of a backstory thing. The basic gist of what we know about the story is that it's going to delve into the Saiyan origins, it's going to delve into the Saiyan background, and bring that stuff to bear. And recently, Toriyama revealed a lot of things about the original Super Saiyan God, how the Super Saiyan of legend and the original Super Saiyan God were one and the same person, and how his spirit is still apparently floating around. He also delved into the S cells, which is probably one of the stupidest fucking concepts that's been introduced by new material, where you get a special level of cells in your body that let you unlock Super Saiyan depending on how righteous and angry you are. Yes, your body creates these special Super Saiyan cells, or S cells, depending on how righteous and angry you are. This is probably one of the stupidest things Toriyama has ever done, just on this basis alone. Just the fact that this has been the most recent information, considering the fact that we're going to be getting a movie about the same backstory, I will eat a brick if the Yamoshi and the S cells are not brought up at one point or another in the film itself. But even going past that, Toriyama is historically not a good guy when it comes to writing backstory. He cannot delve into like the intricacies of his universe in a way that works. The Trunks special is not bad, but it's barely a story. It's just a bunch of bullet points that could be made and have been made into a legitimately good story, which is the Trunks anime special. But when you read the manga chapter, it's just kind of a load of nothing. It's just Gohan, Trunks train, Gohan dies, Trunks fights androids, Trunks fails fighting androids, Trunks goes into the future. It's literally nothing but a bunch of bullet points that really need an actual script and then get adapted into something to work. And that's what the anime special for Future Trunks did. It turned a nothing manga chapter into an actual story. But then we get to Dragon Ball Minus, and Dragon Ball Minus is just, it's Dragon Ball Minus. It just does not need explanation. If you need a thoroughly well-articulated video about why Minus just does not work, a much better articulated video and much more insightful video than anything I could ever produce concerning anything ever, you can go watch Mr. A Fusion's Dragon Ball Minus analysis, which I will link down in the description of this video. Toriyama is not a good guy at telling any kind of prequel story. He's not a good guy to tie in the various bits and pieces of his universe together. Almost every single time he's ever done that, it's just been a resounding mess of contradictions and really stupid stuff that feels like he just made up on the spot because he clearly does not have an answer. It actually goes really far to show you that one of the most effective, you thought it was like this, but it's actually like this, story revelations and information dumps was when Raditz arrives on Earth and he tells Goku that Goku is a Saiyan. The reason why this works, probably the only reason it works, is because we have absolutely no backstory for Goku. We don't know what Goku was doing for the first 12 years of his life. We know he was living with Grandpa Gohan, but there's no indication that Grandpa Gohan found an alien baby. There's no indication that Roshi knows Goku's an alien in the before chapters. It pretty much goes to show you that Toriyama's most successful reveal, or like dot tying, I suppose, is concerning the main character whose backstory is basically non-existent, and you could basically reveal whatever the hell you want about him at that point because there's nothing to contradict. You can't contradict anything. And so that's probably one of the few times when Toriyama has successfully actually gone back and like revealed more stuff about a character without it completely just breaking a lot of other things. And I fully expect this to be like a minus level monstrosity. I do not trust Toriyama's writing in general after the Frieza arc, and I definitely do not trust him to write a good script or a good story, especially not a good prequel-esque or backstory-filling type of story, which this thing is very clearly going to be. So those are my thoughts on the Dragon Ball 2018 movie. I think it's going to be a mess. It's probably going to look good, but holy shit, we might actually get something that's worse than Minus story content-wise, so do not be surprised if that's what this thing turns out to be.